Trump signaling a possible end to this war, but it would leave the U.S. and our allies in a much worse position. That aspect of this is not in debate. Indeed, U.S. policy planning from inside the Trump administration has warned about exactly the outcome Trump might leave us with. Trump mulling, abandoning what has been everyone's agreed upon reason for this region to matter, the oil, but he would abandon U.S. strength. He would leave without reopening the key Strait of Hormuz. 20% of the world's oil moves through the strait. Iran is blocking it, and that is a huge reason why prices are spiking. Gas now $4 a gallon. That is already having other impacts. The stock market doesn't think with just one mind, but we can show you, amid this war and the uncertainty Trump has caused, stocks are now on pace for the worst quarter in 4 years. You can see the drop right there. You'd have to go back many years in a different administration to find anything like this. Some traders call it a gut punch that will become a Trump recession.
That's the nightmare scenario unfolding right before our eyes. Gas prices skyrocketing, the stock market tanking, and a global energy crisis brewing, all thanks to one man's reckless decisions. Welcome to Partisan Pulse, where we break down the biggest political moments and expose what the headlines leave out.
Not all recessions can be cleanly blamed on the incumbent, but if this recession is caused by this war, well, that's Trump. Wall Street Journal reporting about the strait that in recent days, Trump and aides assessed a mission to pry open the choke point could push the conflict beyond his timeline. And Trump now, having started the war, says maybe that's just other people's problems, telling countries to get their own oil.
The president was clear this morning in his truth that there are countries around the world who ought to be prepared to step up on this critical waterway as well. It's not just the United States Navy. Last time I checked, there was supposed to be a big bad Royal Navy that could be prepared to do things like that.
Wait, what? The world's greatest military can't secure a vital shipping lane, but suddenly we're outsourcing our national security to the Royal Navy? This is a terrifying admission of a complete loss of control. The Strait of Hormuz is the choke point for 20% of the world's oil. When that gets blocked, you pay. We're already seeing the impact at the pump, and this kind of pass the buck strategy from the top, it screams incompetence. But here's the part no one is saying. This is a calculated retreat from global responsibility that leaves a power vacuum. And when there's a vacuum, bad actors rush in. This is an open invitation for more chaos, more instability, and ultimately even higher gas prices for you.
Paul Krugman is the Nobel Prize-winning economist. He writes a newsletter on Substack, Paul Krugman, where he just wrote about the oil crisis getting physical. Of course, we hope people read you. I've been reading you my whole adult life, Professor, but let's start with a preview of what you've written there for our viewers tonight who might not have read it yet.
Okay. Up till now, you see oil prices fluctuating, but those are all prices of futures. They're claims on a barrel of oil, next month. It's not the actual price of a barrel of oil, literally. And so far, it takes 4 to 6 weeks for oil from passing through the Strait of Hormuz to reach its major markets. So we've been living all this time, the world has been living on oil that was already in transit, has not been affected by the war. But that runs out now. Basically, the first physical shortages of oil in Asia will be starting in a day or two. The physical shortages in Europe will be starting next week. So all of a sudden, this is getting real.
This is where it gets serious. But now, Nobel laureate Paul Krugman is dropping a truth bomb. The physical oil is running out. This isn't some abstract economic theory. This is about to hit your daily life with the force of a freight train. They let us believe this was temporary, a blip. But the reality is, the oil that was already in transit, the oil that was keeping the world barely afloat, is gone, finished. Now we're facing actual, tangible shortages. This means the price at the pump isn't just going to fluctuate anymore. It's going to soar. Get ready, because the cost of everything, from your groceries to your commute, is about to feel the squeeze from this real physical oil crisis.
This is no longer financial speculation. The actual price, we're already seeing a lot of rising prices at the pump, and even more. By the way, diesel is a much bigger deal than gasoline, and people should be talking about that. But at a certain point, the price of oil has to rise enough so that people stop driving, stop doing stuff enough so that the demand for oil is reduced to the available supply, which is down a lot. And so this gets really, really ugly if we don't, even if we reopen the strait in a day or two, which is not going to happen. It's still going to be ugly for a while, but it's going to get really, really ugly if this goes on for an extended period.
I want to show you just people outside dealing with this right now. Take a look.
We need help with it, you know what I mean? Because we're citizens and we have to pay these prices, and it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
I feel like anytime something dealing with war is going on, we as the people are getting affected by it, and I don't feel like that's fair. We already have to deal with grocery store prices. Then now we got to deal with the gas prices going up. It's a lot.
I mean, if you're in the rat race all day and you're in your car from 8 o'clock in the morning till 5 in the afternoon, it's a rough life. Everything he stood for is nothing what he's doing anymore.
That's measurable. That's documented. Ordinary Americans fed up, struggling to make ends meet, while the experts confirm what we've suspected all along. This is all Trump policy. The gas prices, the economic uncertainty, the fear you feel when you look at your budget. It wasn't inevitable. It was avoidable. If this kind of breakdown matters to you, this is exactly what we do here. This isn't about blame. It's about accountability. When a leader's actions directly lead to a global energy crisis, when they ignore the experts and prioritize their own ego over the economic well-being of millions, that's not just bad policy. That's a betrayal. And you, the American taxpayer, are paying the price, literally, every time you fill up your tank.
This is all Trump policy. I mean, as one of your, I think, as you may have said, I mean, this war, didn't have to happen. And it's all of what's happening to the price of gasoline, to the price of diesel, everything else is because of the war. The Strait of Hormuz was open. Stuff was flowing through it fine on February 27th, right? Everything was okay. That we had problems with, as we long have with Iran, with other countries, but we did not have a global oil shortage. So this is all one man's decisions that have brought us to this pass. And he still seems to be completely clueless about what's going on. Let's be clear, but also he said, and if you're not willing to be courageous and get the jet fuel, why don't you buy it from us? We have plenty. Well, do you know what's happened to the price of jet fuel? It makes what's happened to the price of gasoline look like nothing. Basically, jet fuel prices have doubled.
That's not how that works. We have plenty of jet fuel, he says, while jet fuel prices have doubled, making gasoline look like a bargain. This isn't just a slip of the tongue, it's a fundamental misunderstanding, or worse, a deliberate misrepresentation of reality. When jet fuel prices double, it doesn't just affect airlines canceling flights. It affects everything. Shipping, logistics, the cost of goods flown across the country. It all goes up. That means more inflation, more pressure on supply chains, and ultimately, you pay more for everything. Pay attention to this. The ripple effect of this incompetence is enormous. It's not just your car, it's the entire economy grinding under the weight of these self-inflicted wounds.
In a way, $4 a gallon gas that's less than half the problem. The effects on diesel fuel, which everything runs on that. Every truck runs on diesel. All of the business activity runs on diesel. And gas is up $1 a gallon. Diesel is up $1.70 a gallon. Jet fuel has doubled. The price of fertilizer for America's farms has surged because a lot of fertilizer, it turns out, was flowing through the Strait of Hormuz. So this is the greatest shock to global energy supplies ever. It's worse than the 1970s. And it's all because of one man's decision that he wanted a war, which he doesn't want anymore.
Worse than the 1970s oil crisis? Let that sink in. The 70s brought gas lines, rationing, and a massive economic downturn. Krugman, a Nobel Prize-winning economist, is telling us we're facing something even more catastrophic. Wait, what? He wanted a war, started it, and now he's backing off because it's inconvenient? This isn't just a loss of control. It's profound irresponsibility that puts the entire global economy at risk. This is where it gets serious. The instability, the skyrocketing prices for diesel, jet fuel, and even fertilizer, meaning your food costs will climb too. It all traces back to a singular, reckless decision, and we're seeing the global fallout, impacting every single one of us.
Well, this is nasty. I mean, we're seeing, although stocks were way up today, because basically they were way up because it sounds as if Trump may be preparing to surrender, which tells you something about how the war is going, right? That the markets are cheering at the fact that the United States team seems to be running away. I mean, I've never been a track the markets minute by minute guy, but these days I keep a window open all day, not for stocks, but for the price of crude oil. I'm looking at the price of Brent crude, and which is, again, it's a futures price. It's a financial price, not the actual, not physical stuff on hand. But and that price came way down today because, again, everybody's cheering that Trump appears to be surrendering, but maybe not. There's a lot of U.S. boots headed for the region.
This is the ultimate contradiction. The markets are cheering because they think Trump is surrendering, that he's backing down from the chaos he started. But then, in the very next breath, we hear about more U.S. boots on the ground. The mixed signals are deafening, and the uncertainty is toxic for the economy. This isn't leadership. It's a chaotic gamble with our national security and your financial future. But here's the part no one is saying. This indecision, this flip-flopping, is a direct result of a leader who acts on impulse, not strategy. And when the leader is confused, everyone suffers. The price of oil, the stability of markets, and ultimately the cost of living for every American hangs in the balance of this dangerous, unpredictable game.
No one is sure what will happen tomorrow. I would say that the current price of crude oil, and I think in stock prices also, are priced as if this is not going to last very long. It's not going to be really as bad as it should be. And when I run the numbers on what a sustained closure of the Strait of Hormuz means, it's way worse than where we are right now. And there's enormous uncertainty there. But 200 a barrel oil is not unreasonable. It's not my most likely thing, but it's definitely, it does not take very much in the way of things going a bit wrong for us to get to that. And that is really quite catastrophic for the market, for everything else.
Catastrophic. That's the word. 200 a barrel oil isn't some distant threat. It's a very real possibility if this chaos continues. This isn't just about gas prices anymore. It's about the entire global economy teetering on the brink, all because of reckless, incompetent leadership that prioritizes ego over stability. We need leaders who understand the real-world consequences of their decisions, who can secure vital trade routes and protect our economy, not plunge us into avoidable crises. What do you think? Are we heading for $200 oil? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve, if you want to understand how these political earthquakes impact your daily life, then hit that like button, subscribe to Partisan Pulse, and join our community. Don't let them keep you in the dark. We'll see you next time.